Hello, my friends. Welcome back in. It's the third episode of our Scottish version of Winter Wipeout. Before we get started, I got two things I want to talk to you about. I am not going to be running an ad in today's video, and essentially the ad I'm going to be running is me saying I am trying to get, by the end of the year, to 40 patrons on Patreon and at least $200 a month. So if you enjoy my content, if you've been watching a long time, you would be surprised how far like a $2 a month donation goes. It would really help me out. So the link for that is in the description below. If you don't want to look at that, it's patreon.com/grayhairgaming. Second thing I want to talk to you about is what we're going to be covering in this episode. I had a comment, really good comment from Mike DeToco. I think it's DeToco because it's taco. I probably just offended him because it's probably DeToco. Mike in the comments of the last one said, hey, how are these teams doing in the Champions League and the Europa League after getting wiped out? He said, this is his words, since it's Scotland, I don't expect anyone to reach a group stage in either tournament, but it would be interesting to see if it's fallen to the level of Northern Ireland and Wales. So we're going to be taking a look at that. We're going to look at the 5 years we haven't looked at yet. I think it's years 11 through 15. Yes, years 11 through 15. And then we'll take a look at the Champions League and the Europa League over the years and kind of find where these clubs were, where they ended up. There might be a faster way of doing it that I don't know of, but, you know, that's how things go around here. All right, so, okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Aberdeen wins the league. Okay, this is the last episode you saw. We saw Hibs winning it 3 seasons in a row, even though we kept wiping them out. They finally fell off to 5th, 59 points. Oh, look how close that is. 1 point amongst 3 teams for that last third place Europa League spot. So Kilmarnock's like, sweet, Europa League money. But Aberdeen on 79 points. I mean, that's a smashing. It's 15 points above everybody else. Then Celtic comes back. Kilmarnock propels themselves to second. Aberdeen falls off. Again, they got wiped out. That might have something to do with it. Hibs has fallen to 8th in this year. The next year, Aberdeen wins it again. Hibs is back. Rangers is back. Kilmarnock has fallen off, which is that's a bit interesting that they got up there and they were getting, you know, they got 2 seasons at least of Europa League money and then they fell off. So, and it's not like I wiped them out. Then they bounce back and Kilmarnock wins the league, 80 points. Congratulations, my friends. And then last but not least, Celtic win the league. Motherwell, Hearts, Rangers is still not really, you know, bounced back. Kilmarnock and Hibs have fallen down. Aberdeen gets relegated. I had not seen that. Aberdeen gets relegated. The previous year, where were they? 9th. The previous year, they won the league. So winning the league, 9th, relegated. See you later. My goodness. Okay. So let's go take a look at their transfers. Oh, that's really unbelievable. I had not seen that. I'm once again in the way with my camera. This is excellent. Watch this. Whoop, there we go. So, oh, it's $1. I swear I don't do that on like it's just I play multiple saves and test things out and all that kind of stuff. So, and I have a gigantic headache, so bear with me here. So 2.7 million in, 3.5 million out. Then they get wiped out. 0 in. They only had 2 transfers at all, both on freeze, and 1.1 million out with what? There's 240, 175. Okay, so it's not just like one player. They lost like 4 or 5 key players probably. The following season, 0 in, 175 out, and 1 player. And then after that, 115 in, 110 out, 92 in, 1.1 million out. We did some damage, my friends. Aberdeen is hurting. They are hurting. All right, the next season you got Celtic. And you can kind of see their progression here. Dropped off, and then they come right back. So let's look at them from 28-29. 28-29, 4 million in. Okay, this is before we wipe them out, though. This is the year they won. So, they spent a lot of money on, really, 1, 2-ish, 3, 4, 5 players, and they won the league. And then they had this. I mean, you would think they'd turn around and have to sell a lot, but they balanced the books for the most part. And then the following season, another $2.5 million in and 13.75K out. That okay? Do as you like, lads. 1.6 million in, 925 out. With that being just one player. So it's almost like in these transfer windows, if they have to sell, it's like if they could sell one player, it almost wipes out a bunch of problems. So again, that's why I'm thinking this is probably going to be the last episode we do in Scotland, just because I'm not seeing the drastic changes. Because again, when your budgets are that much smaller, if you sell one player, you've made up for the problem, or two. Like it's not like if you're a 80 million euro club and something like that, and you get wiped out and you go, oh, okay, we gotta, I guess maybe it could be the equivalent, right? Because maybe like if you had the Premier League, you could sell your best player for 50 or 60 or 70 million. So maybe it's the same. I just haven't seen the fluctuation like we did in the other one. All right, so Kilmarnock wins in 30-31, and then quite the drop off in 31-32. That's all we're going to look at, really, to look at that. This is when they win. And I mean, really, if you go back, I mean, they did spend 2.4 million the season before, then 175 in, 500K out. So kind of going in the reverse direction. And then 16.25K, you got to get the 250 in there. And then 3.6 million out. Is that a big, no, it's a 2.5 million to Tottenham. And then, a 650 and some small ones. Okay. And then 0 and 105. So there's Kilmarnock. I think that's, I mean, they did it the right way, right? So they've been grinding it out, 8th, 10th, 12th, whatever, or maybe not 12th, 11th. And then they slowly built up, got really close, got second. But that's all in this system, that's better, right? Because you don't get wiped out. But then they somehow dropped to 6th, but then bounced right back because they got that Europa League money and were able to claim a title for themselves before being wiped out. And then we already looked at Celtic. So lots interesting. I am going to go just because I enjoy pain. Stirling Albion. Oh, they came in second. Okay, let's go back. I mean, not really close, but previous season 7th, previous season 4th, so playoffs, didn't get promoted. Previous season 6th. I think this is the last one, 8th. That's just me. All right, so let's go take a look at the Champions League, my friends. And the only way I know to do this, and you may be going like, there are better ways to do this, is to go back, and I kind of look to see, I didn't do a lot of this, but like where teams started entering the Champions League, and I found it was a lot of time like in, what was it, the best placed, or okay, I'm gonna have to go find it. All right, in 17-18, Celtic enters the Champions League in the second qualifying phase. They get past Trepcha 89 by a 2-1 aggregate score. That takes them to the third qualifying phase, where they get past HNK Rijeka by a 3-3 away goals result. So they get all the way to the playoff, and they get knocked out by NK Maribor. Cultured Left Foot is another YouTuber. He'll be thrilled with that result, with a 4-2 result there. And then we could check the Europa League for this season, because they would have, my understanding, right, is they would have dropped. Oh, that's not it. Would they have dropped down? Well, let's go. I'm going to find them, and oh, it's not the right season. That'll get you every time, won't it? That'll get you in. Oh, well, there's Rangers losing. Oh, there you go. In the playoff. 6-0 on aggregate to Everton. Sorry, lads. Sorry. I apologize. All right. Can we find... They would have dropped to the group stage, right? If you're in the Europa League, or does it drop you depend on where you are in the Europa League? Does it drop you to a different spot? Nope. They enter the group stage and did not do well at all, my friends. 2 points with a -6 goal differential. Ouch. Ouch. And, okay, St. Johnstone gets past Derry City by a 3-1 combined aggregate score. Aberdeen got in there as well on a 2-1. Okay, so we had some clubs make it through the qualifying rounds. Rangers beat Panathinaikos. St. Johnstone lost to Athletic Club Bilbao. I'm looking for Scotland flags. And Aberdeen loses on away goals to CS Maritimo. All right, let's go look at the next year. All right, I think we're going to do all the Champions Leagues first because that's easier than going back and forth between the Champions League and the Europa League. Sorry, my left eye is like, why am I open? Go to bed. And it's not even late. Celtic enter the Champions League in the first qualifying phase. And a 6-1 aggregate over Kamsa from Albania. So they make it to the second qualifying phase where they get past Sheriff Tiraspol 4-2. All right, making it. They get past FK Partizan on a 3-1 aggregate score. So they make it to the playoff. Do they get through? They do not get through on a 3-0 against Olympiacos. So that'll drop them to the Europa League. We'll go back and look at that here in a second. Okay, nobody. I guess we could work it back this way, right? In the playoff, nobody there. Rangers losing to Crvena Zvezda on a 1-0. Oh, that's a gutting way to go. Who'd they beat in the... Did they enter in the first qualifying? Yes, they beat Hibernians Paola. That's the preliminary round. I was like, why is there just 2 teams? Rangers beats Dynamo Zagreb. So that's as far as we get. Okay, so they lost to Steaua Bucuresti 3-2 on aggregate in the second qualifying phase. In the first qualifying phase, they beat KF Kukesi by combined 6-0 aggregate score. Okay, Rangers again, 7-1 over Nom Kaluju. Why am I doing all the names? I'm just asking for it. And they get past FK Partizan, 3-1, so Scotland having some luck there. And then they lose to Dynamo Zagreb. Oh, that's unfortunate, really. I know we're doing this in a weird manner. Okay, they're not in the third qualifying phase. That's generally not a good sign. Hibs losing to Malmo from Sweden on a 4-3 aggregate score. Before that, they beat FK Astana on a 4-0 aggregate score. This is taking a while. Hopefully you are sticking with me here. Hearts, though, gets past Dynamo Zagreb, who, although, I mean, they were in that third qualifying phase, so maybe they dropped off in quality. But hey, Scotland got one over. It wasn't Rangers or Celtic, but they got one over on them. And then Hearts loses on a 1-0 to AS Trenčín from Slovakia. Okay. Let's go back to the first qualifying phase. Celtic over UE Santa Coloma. I got really nervous because I unplugged my mic earlier. I was like, oh my gosh, did I just record this without the mic? Okay, 8-0 smashing. And then they lose to Steaua Bucuresti. Steaua Bucuresti knocking Scotland out twice, my friends. Hibs here in this is the second qualifying phase, gets past Dynamo Zagreb. We're getting vengeance for the previous seasons, my friends. Let's go back just to see who they beat to get there. They beat, Zombathali Haladas on a 3-0. Not really convincing, really. Third qualifying round, they lose to Legia Warsaw. Legia Warsaw. I used to know that really well when I was in Poland in FM17. As you can see here, third qualifying phase, Hibs gets past FC Midtjylland, or doesn't get past FC Midtjylland on a 3-2. Oh, they gave up 2 goals in the last game, which is what cost them, but let's see how they got there. First qualifying phase, they beat Hibernians Piola, we've seen them before. And Bitar Yerushalayim. I thought that sounded Israeli. Okay, let's check. Hibs getting past MSK Zelina. This is second qualifying phase, so let's check the first qualifying phase. I know I'm kind of going back and forth. It's just easier with the arrows here that I'm clicking through. Oh, did they got this? They've upped, I guess. They've done well enough in Europe that they entered into the second qualifying phase. I think that's an interesting twist. And then they beat Karabag FK. So Hibs, my friends, getting into the playoff. Oh, and they lost to Beşiktaş. I thought they were gonna. I forgot there was a playoff. I was like, oh, did they get to the group stage? Way to go, lads. Okay, nobody in the playoff. Let's work our way backwards here. Aberdeen losing to Rosenborg BK on a 1-1 penalty. Oh, okay. How did they get there? They beat AS Trensen. We saw them already. I apologize if that's not how you say it. I'm just going with what sounds right. So yeah, it appears Scotland has. I can't remember if they started off in the first qualifying phase, but they appear to have worked their way up, or at least back, if that was the case, if they were already there, to the second qualifying phase. Of course, Celtic losing on away goals to SK Braun. Is that going to bump them down next season? We did it. Did it? Did it? Or did they get knocked out in the first? Or did they keep improving and they're in the third? Or am I... I'm gonna go a little bit slower. Did I miss where they were? Okay. Straight to the playoff and then losing to RB Salzburg on a 2-3. That, correct me if I'm wrong, seems like a jump, right? They were second qualifying phase. They skipped third qualifying phase and went straight to playoff? Let me know if that sounds right in the comments. It doesn't sound right in my head. Kilmarnock in the following season, I guess straight to the playoff, losing to FC Copenhagen. Are they're not in the third qualifying phase. Huh. Just skip around, lads, when you're improving that coefficient. So I wonder if they did well in the Europa League. Did somebody win the Europa League or something that improved the coefficient or something along those lines? Okay, we saw 17-18. We gotta figure out where they enter, right? Okay, first qualifying round, right in. Hibs and Aberdeen. Oh, a 7-0 and a 5-1. Is there another? I guess that's it. Rangers entered the second qualifying round, okay, with a 7-0. Hibs losing to Atalanta on a 6-0. Ouch. Aberdeen getting past Hammarby IF on a 3-0. I don't think we're going to do that. Are we going to do this for every year? I'm afraid this video is going to be forever long and you're going to stop watching. But Aberdeen gets past FK Astana on a 3-0. Rangers loses to Hoffenheim. I mean, that's fair, on a 3-2. That's good competition. Bundesliga, right? And okay, and then so we only have Aberdeen left because the other one's lost. All right, fourth qualifying round. Aberdeen gets past Victoria Plzen. 3-2. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friends. Shout if you see Aberdeen. Because they won, right? There it is. Oh! -10 goal differential. I think let's just look at the group stages and just look for teams from Scotland, and then that'll kind of tell us the story. But we did have one group stage, right? That's good for Aberdeen. Okay, we've got Rangers here on a -8. 0 points. Solid. And I think that's the only one. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anybody. That's 2 group stages that they made. Oh, Celtic makes it through on 4 points. I mean, they don't make it through, but they scored 4 points and -6 goal differential. That's slightly better, right? Okay, Hibs making it in, -9 goal differential with 3 points. I mean, they nicked the win off somebody. So, I mean, yeah, Wolfsburg and Leicester, you would expect those teams to get through. That'd be my take on it, at least. Nobody makes the, unless I missed it. Just double check. Nobody makes the group stage in 23-24, 24-25. Ooh, bit of a drop off. Again, sorry if that looks weird on your screen. I'm going up and down a couple times. Oh, Hibs with Chelsea. They get through 25-26. And maybe this is where we saw the jump in the coefficient. I should probably have gone back and looked, but why would I do that? 13 points plus 4 goal differential. They made it through. First knockout round, they beat CSK Moscow. I heard someone say that today as CSKA Moscow. Let me know in the comments which one it is. I thought it was just, it's 4 letters in a row. I thought it was CSKA. I can't, okay, first knockout. Did they make it to the second knockout round? They lost to Chelsea. I mean, you know, that's, I mean, what, you know, that, yeah, it's kind of expected, isn't it? Isn't it? And you could argue that's really not fair. You have to go up against the team that was in your group stage. Like, can't you spread it out a little bit more, guys? They've already seen us play a bunch. They've worked it out. They know what we're gonna do. Then we see Hibs. That's not. -12 with 0 points is but we have other entrances, my friends. Motherwell on -9 and 4 points, and Aberdeen on -6 on 4 points. That's the first time we've had 3. Maybe that was what helped the coefficient. I don't know. I don't know anything about coefficients. I live in America. Winning the group on 10 points with Ajax, AEK, and Dynamo Zagreb. Hibs, you could tell they went on that run. They won a bunch of league titles on the row, even though we were wiping them out. Aberdeen losing. Oh, close though. They actually had a 0 goal differential. That is an upgrade over previous seasons. So that's headed in the right direction. Let's go look here. Aberdeen, 10 points. The goal differential knocks them out. But a good run. A good run. Made the group stage. No other entrances. Entrance? Teams is what I was trying to say. Motherwell losing out -9 on 3 points. Celtic -7 on 6 points. Interesting. Come on. No whammies. Aberdeen -2 and 7 points. Celtic again -4 and 3 points. Just not doing the business. Kilmarnock makes it into the group stage -7 and 2 points. Oh, the goal differentials is ugly. It's ugly, my friends. And then this is the current season. We're just in the preliminary round. Or no. Okay, they haven't drawn that round. They haven't drawn that round. Let's look. Nope, no. So they should be past this, right? Or they'll. Okay. So, hopefully that was interesting for you. I think it was pretty interesting taking a look at the runs there in the group stage in the Europa League. You're not really probably expecting much in the Champions League. I'd hope that's not offensive. That's just kind of my take on things, if I'm being completely honest with you. So, and Mike, obviously in the comments, didn't expect anyone to reach the group stage in either tournament. So the fact that Scotland made quite a few group stage runs there in the Europa League is, an upgrade on Mike's expectations, which is obviously what we're here for. So, again, I really appreciate you watching the series. We are going to be going to the Bundesliga next, my friends. We'll do the same thing. We'll do it 5 years at a time, wiping teams out as we go. Let me know if you think that's going to turn out interesting, and who do you think could end up on top? I mean, you got to think a couple of years in the future if we're slowly eroding the financial prowess of some of those big clubs. Can we make an impact? So can we, I'm most interested in seeing Bayern and Borussia Dortmund and seeing what happens there. But let me know your thoughts on that. That'll be the one that's coming up this Friday, because this comes out tomorrow, which is Tuesday. So I'm going to go edit this now and go take some ibuprofen because my head's killing me. So again, hit the like button. It means a lot when you do that. If you haven't seen it already, there's an intro trailer for a new series that is up on the channel by the time that you've seen this. So go watch that. Make sure you hit the like button. And again, if you're interested in becoming a patron on Patreon, check out the stuff over here. Hopefully you appreciate not having to watch ads today. And literally, if you give $1 or $2 a month, that is like thousands of views worth of ads. So yeah, if I can get to a certain point where we're making a really good income off of Patreon, I'm probably just going to take ads up, like maybe not completely away, maybe just play them like before you watch the video, but I could take out the ones that are in the middle. That's kind of my goal. So check that out, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.